Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about chapters and sections. Now, chapters and sections are the basic building blocks of an ebook as created in the Ultimate Ebook Creator. Okay, so let me show you what the chapters and sections would look like in a final ebook. So I'm going to bring up my Kindle desktop reader. Okay, and here is the table of contents page, and you can see here that all the items in bold are chapters, and all the items which are non-bolded and indented in are called sections. Okay, so for example, we have a chapter here called A Quick Start, and under the chapter we have several sections which basically belong to a chapter. Okay, so basically in the Ultimate Ebook Creator you can create a two-level deep table of contents. Okay, so that's how it's going to look like, and as you'll see, you can kind of you can format and change the font and style of each item in the table of contents by using the appropriate features, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go back to the Ultimate Ebook Creator, and by default when you open up the Ultimate Ebook Creator, you are going to get 4 items already in the left-hand navigation, which is the book, cover page, title, and the table of contents. Now, these are covered in detail in other videos, so I'm just going to focus on chapters and sections. Okay, so to create a chapter, all you have to do is basically right-click in this area, anywhere in this area, and then you get a pop-up menu, and you'll see that the Add Chapter option is highlighted. So we'll click on that. Okay, and we'll get the chapter and section title editor. So here we can type in our chapter's title. So I'm just going to say introduction. Okay, and we have 2 options. So the first one is saying show in table of contents. So for an ebook, you can actually show this particular chapter in the table of contents, or you can hide it. Okay, so if I bring up the Kindle desktop reader again, okay, so if I had, let's say this is the chapter called introduction, so if I uncheck this, then this item will not show up in the table of contents in the ebook. Okay, and that has got nothing to do with the heading of the actual content itself. So let me just finish with this. So the other option here is insert page break, and what that means is that if you have this checked on, then you're guaranteed that this chapter is going to appear on a page by itself. So there'll always be a page break between this chapter and whatever comes before. Okay, so traditionally you should always have this option set on for chapters. Now in sections, that's a different story, and when we get to sections I'll explain that, but for chapters you should always have this turned on. Okay, and we'll click OK. So what happens is the Ultimate Ebook Creator automatically adds the title of the chapter inside your content. Okay, now if you don't want to show this inside your content, you can simply highlight and then hit the delete key and remove it. Okay, so that's how you control whether the chapter's title shows up in your content or not. Let me just say undo here. Okay, I want to bring it back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set the style of the heading using format and then set style, and I'm going to select heading 1. Okay, so basically for chapter we always want to use heading 1, and for sections we always want to use heading 2. Okay, so that's my heading for chapter. So now I can type in my content here, and when I build the book, because I have my show in table of contents set, I'm going to see this in my table of contents. Now here you can change the you can change this title to say whatever you want. So this title and this title here are totally independent um, when we are creating ebooks. Okay, so I could put chapter, I could put something like quick start. Okay, so my table of contents is going to say quick start, but my heading in my chapter will actually say introduction. Now this normally is not a great idea because, you know, somebody who clicks on quick start is expecting to see quick start here, but anyway, you have the flexibility, so you can use it to your own discretion. Okay, so here is the chapter. Now in order to create a section under the chapter, we basically click on the chapter or right click on the chapter and then go down to add section. Okay, so now we can go add section. Once again, we get the chapter and section title coming up, and we can say something like introduction here. Okay, and for quick start, let me just change this to quick start, so we're all on the same page. Okay, so now for chapter called quick start, I have my table of contents text the same as my title on my content page for chapter. Now for section, I already have, just like before, we introduced the same text on the content, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to style this as heading 2. Okay, now styling this is very, very important when you come to export this as an MS Word or a PDF, because the way the table of contents are generated when you're exporting to MS Word or PDF heavily depends on the styling, just like in Word. Okay, so that's how it works. But for ebooks, it really doesn't matter. You don't have to style it. You can put whatever you want here. Okay, so now that we have chapters, we have a chapter and we have a section. Okay, and same again for for sections, we can show that in the table of contents, and we can also insert a page break, right? So normally what would happen is you would always have this turned on, but sometimes many people want to keep all the sections as one continuous content, just broken up by the title. So if you want to do that, yeah, just go ahead and uncheck that. That's great, and you can do that. Now since I'm on the subject, I'm just going to show you some really quick bulk edit type of options for chapters and sections. So let's say, for example, you have a huge document and you want to go ahead and basically have a quick way of unchecking this or unchecking this. I have a feature for that. All you need to do is basically go to edit and then select chapter, and then we can say show in table of contents check all, or show in table of contents uncheck all. And what that will do is it will rifle down all the chapters for you and basically manipulate these checkboxes depending on what you choose. Okay, so it will save you having to go down one by one trying to do it. And the same for sections. Here we have basically the same thing. Okay, so and then in this one you can insert a page break, or we can take away the page break too, right? And that's it. So that's basically the chapters and sections. And let me show you one more thing which is really cool. Let me add another chapter. I'll call it chapter 2, and then I can say chapter 3. Okay, now what you can do is you can reorder these. So for example, let's say you wanted chapter 2 to be the first chapter, then you just basically right click on that chapter and we can say move up. So automatically it moves up, and then quick start becomes the second chapter. And the same way we can move this right down to the bottom, so we can right click on quick start and we say move down. So once again it kind of moves down like this. And the same thing goes for sections too. So for example, let me add another section, insert a section called section 2 down here. Okay, now if I want to move this up, I basically just right click and I just go to move up, and it will move up, and I can also move it back down. Okay, so that is that's a pretty good feature. The only thing that you cannot do is basically have this section jump into this section, jump into this chapter. That's one thing that we haven't done. I haven't had a lot of customers ask me for that option, but if a lot of people do, then maybe I'll look into building that feature in there. I hope you found the video useful, and we'll move on to the next video.